Are you wondering what a $350 air purifier looks like? Well, let me introduce you to the Dyson HushJet that's right here, because this costs $350, which is more than double the price of these air purifiers around it, which is the Levoit Core 300S and the Levoit Sprout. So according to Dyson, they're giving you an air filter inside of the HushJet that you don't have to change for 5 years. So it's going to save you money in the long run because you have to replace the filters inside of your Levoits and your Blue Airs and other air purifiers. The second thing is that they're giving you some technology. They're giving you sensors, they're giving you the app experience. They're also giving you this redesigned turbine system that they call completely unique that can be mixed in with their head unit that's just really a piece of plastic. If you're wondering what's Dyson's plan here, well, they're using this HushJet air projection system, which is different from their Dyson air multiplier loop design, which is really going to be inside of their tower fans. What I find the most interesting is what Dyson does for their marketing. They're saying that this utilizes entrainment principles. So it's going to be pulling in air from the surrounding area, and then it's going to amplify that airflow so that it's not as loud because of this updated design on top. But this is really where Dyson is making their sales pitch. It's really in that cost of ownership. So the HushJet, even though it has that really high starting price at $350, your filter costs are going to be $0. And that would make your annual 5-year cost $350. And we're not going to compare it to the larger WinXs and the Koways and the Blue Air 311 just because they're bigger. They're going to have higher overall costs. So on the Levoit Core 300S, let's say each filter is going to cost you full price at $30 and you're not getting them on sale. In 5 years, you're going to spend about $239.92, which would put you just about close or a little bit over the price of the initial Dyson HushJet. So in a small air purifier, this is going to be one of the bigger filters you see, and the carbon filter is not going to be attached. It's going to be its own separate carbon filter. So this is that activated charcoal filter, and that's going to be what is ultimately removing the odors out of your air. And if you take a close-up look at it, you can see that there's these carbon pellets all around. However, you have to know how this air filter works. It's really that the material is going to be more porous, so it won't clog up as quickly. And since the filter is going to have a built-in charge that's coming in from the actual unit, it's going to also pull in the particles towards the media threads inside. So it's just going to be a better magnet for dust as well as particles. I never heard anyone say, "Oh man, I want to breathe dirty air today." And even though the claim is that the filter should last you about 5 years, the filter will be less and less effective the longer it runs. So in year 2, year 3, you might find that this is not going to be having the same performance as when you got it on day 1, because eventually the material and the pores are going to fill up with dust and debris, and you will want to regularly clean the outside of this for dust. Outside of the filter, you notice that this entire part here is just going to be the enclosure. So this is just an enclosure shell acting almost like a pre-filter, and then you have a dome inside that's going to be connected to the sensors, is going to be connected to the control board, as well as to the turbine fan that's built inside. This is my Levoit that I've been using for just about 4 years. Now I have a filter in here after about 8 months that I have not changed because I want to show you how dirty it is over time. So this is why you would normally get an air purifier. You can see that the filter does pick up a lot of debris, especially around the pre-filter. And on the Levoit here, it also comes with this filter. So there's going to be a charcoal filter on the inside and a HEPA filter, a 1-inch HEPA filter built around. The secret of any air purifier, be it the HushJet from Dyson or a Levoit Core 300, is that the filter is the most important part. All of the air purification happens in the filter. So Dyson makes the claim that the HushJet can remove 99.7% of all particles as well as debris and dander in the air up to a 0.3 micron size. But then funny enough, your Levoit also makes the same claim because the filters between the Dyson and the Levoit, that H13 HEPA filter is going to be very similar. Let's talk about the specs for your Dyson HushJet. And I'm not a huge fan of utilizing just specs for air purifiers, But if you're looking at the CADR score, or the clean air delivery rate, and the air changes per hour, this has a CADR score of 131 CFM, which is almost identical to what you see on the Levoit Core 300 and the 300S. If you're looking at how big of a room is it meant for, it's going to be meant for a 203 square foot room that you're going to be refreshing the air about every 12 minutes. That's about the same as what you get on the Levoit Core 300 and 300S. If you're talking about how quiet they are, they're just about the same in terms of quietness, except for when you put the Levoit Core on its max strength. So if you put it on max strength, it's going to be a little bit louder. And if you're talking about the weight, your Dyson is going to weigh 6.9 pounds versus about 5.95 pounds on your Levoits. That really comes down to the filter is bigger and it weighs just about a pound more. So in terms of overall components, the internal components about the same weight. It's just that the filter in the Dyson is going to be heavier than the filter in the Levoit. And I wouldn't stress on one unit using 30 watts versus another using 20 watts. It won't make that big of a difference. Just think about it like, okay, if you have it on auto mode, and I wouldn't stress too much about the difference between getting a unit that uses 30 watts versus 20 watts because they don't always use their max wattages all the time. So depending on the room it's in, it's really going to be the difference between a 10 and 15 watt bulb. If you're talking about overall build quality, it's not like the Dyson is coming with more metal. It's not like they're giving you premium materials, because the plastic here is going to be the same quality as the plastic here. I would actually go so far as that the Levoit's plastic molding is going to be more fine-tuned than what you see with the Dyson, because everything about this is just pretty much a standard air purifier case. And the Dyson doesn't come with strong locks. It comes with similar locks from what we see on the Dyson TP07s and other fans, where if you just press these in on both sides, you can just pick it up. So it's light, just as light as almost what you get with the Levoit. It's not going to have the better build quality. And to be honest, I know I get this where it does make a difference is really that they have this little cylinder or pyramid, cylindrical pyramid up top, and that's going to make the air flow into the center of this so that it's going to be ever so slightly more quiet. Not a huge difference. For most people, you might not even be able to detect it. So don't think that it's going to be night and day quieter than any of the other air purifiers on the market. I wish I could say that the Dyson HushJet was way better built or more beautiful than things like the Levoits or the Koways or other air purifiers, but it's not. The material and the build quality is just about the same. And then I wish I could tell you get more in terms of the app experience on the Dyson versus something like the Levoits, but you don't. You actually get a little bit less. So then why would you get the Dyson HushJet? It really comes down to, are you into Dyson? Are you into the name? Do you want to get a Dyson air purifier? And are you into that 5-year filter? Because the 5-year air filter is going to be the best thing about it. I don't think it's going to last 5 years, but maybe it's going to last 3, which is going to mean you don't have to change it for 3 years. And that really puts it in that shark never change space. So I would say that the closest thing to the Dyson here is going to be the Shark. And if I had $100 or less, I would definitely get the Levoit over the Dyson. So one thing I definitely noticed between the Dyson and the Levoit is the sensitivity of the auto mode. So I would say that the Levoit, the auto mode is more likely to trigger, especially if the air quality in the room it's in drops, than what you see with the Dyson. The Dyson is not as sensitive in my opinion, even though it has that accurate particle counter. It just doesn't react as quickly as what we see from the Levoit, which is something that maybe they can fix in a software update, or maybe not. So one of the first things you're going to notice about the Dyson is that it's meant to be more technologically advanced. And that's also because it doesn't come with a remote. You have it with an app now. So this app is going to give you your general control so you can turn it on and off. You get to adjust your airflow, and airflow can be adjusted all the way to level 10. So there's going to be 10 different speeds on your Dyson. On your Dyson, you also have the ability to turn it on and off of auto. So it's going to automatically adjust its airflow based on how dirty the air is. It's going to have a timer, and that timer is going to be up to about 9 hours. And then you have your data in Insight, so it's going to monitor the air quality in the room it's in over time. So it's going to keep a record of that, and they give you a little bit of a how-to. So outside of the things that you see in front of you, these are really all the controls you get. So you're basically getting data and insights and the ability to turn off your unit, turn it on, as well as to turn it on night mode. And you can even tell by the display, it's not very big. And similarly to our Dyson, this is going to be the app for your Core 300S, and you can turn it on and off. So I just turned it on. You can see that it is now on. You have the ability to adjust it from low, medium, high, auto, and sleep. So you can also put it in that auto mode, and that's going to automatically adjust itself based on the air quality in the room it's in. And if you look at the particle count, it also comes with that 2.5 micron size particle counter. So it gives you that, it gives you a record of the air quality in the room it's in. You can keep a schedule. So that is something that your Dyson does not give you. It doesn't give you a schedule that you can adjust when you want it to turn on and off. So the Levoit is also giving you the particle counts up to 2.5 micron size, just like your Dyson HushJet does. If you want to see how quiet it is, I'm just going to turn it on. This is fan speed 1 from 3 feet away. This is fan speed 2 from 3 feet away. Put in perspective, this is going to be on the Levoit. This is 3 feet away from the Levoit Core 300S. Two. 3. And it gives you the particle counter right up top on your sprout. So that's on the Levoit sprout. And if you're looking at the Core 300, the Core 300 comes with a pretty simple display here. And we got that. You can put it on auto mode. You can turn all the lights off or not. You're going to have your timer as well as your night light, and then there's going to be a little area here that's going to read out your 2.5 micron size particle count. And on your standard 300s, it doesn't come with the auto mode and it doesn't come with the particle counter, so that's going to be the big difference between the 300S and the Core 300. So if you look at the HushJet, it's giving you a few information. It's going to give you your 2.5 micron size particles, gives you your 10 micron size particles. It's going to give you your lifespan on your components, Wi-Fi mode if you want to reset that, and back to regular. You have auto mode, night mode, 1, 2, 3 fan speed mode. So ultimately, what's my verdict? Is the Dyson HushJet going to be worth the money? No, absolutely not. It's not even close to being worth that level of investment in a small room air purifier. Because an air purifier, in the simplest sense, is an air filter, and that does all of the air purification inside this machine. That means without the air filter, this is just a glorified fan with sensors. And the air filter in your Dyson is very good. We see the same type of design in the Dyson Big and Quiets, because those guys, they're super expensive, but those air filters inside those units is very good. So Dyson is doing something really good here. But Dyson is taking it one step too far, in my opinion, because they're combining those air filters, which is a good thing, and then they're raising the price by giving you features that you already get inside of some of the cheaper models, like the Levoit Core 300S, like in the Blue Airs, like in the Shark Never Change, and in the Levoit Sprout. So all of these air purifiers are going to do just about the same job. And if you really think about it, yes, you don't have to change the filter inside of the Dyson, but you don't have to change it in the Shark either. But as someone who already owns the Shark Never Change filters, I gotta tell you, I changed those filters, I cleaned them out. They do not end up lasting you 5 years. But finally, what's the biggest weakness of the Dyson outside of the price? It's actually gonna be that it's not very powerful. And it's true, you can run your Dyson inside of a room that's 20 by 10 at max power, and it will do a great job, but it won't be very quiet. So overall, the Dyson is going to be a good air purifier if you have a smaller room, but for everybody else, this is really kind of something you would use in your bedroom. You would use this in a small guest room, but you wouldn't put this in the living room. You wouldn't put this in the kitchen, because if you're trusting that carbon air filter to clean out and reduce all the odors in your kitchen, you're going to be disappointed. If you're expecting this to filter out the air inside of your larger living room, in your basement, you're going to be disappointed. This is really for small rooms, and I think that is the biggest disappointment, because you're paying $350 for that. So with that, thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and please hit that like or subscribe button. It really does help support our channel, and I'll catch you next time. This is Dave with the French Glow signing off. Bye, bye, bye.